Hey. Oh, not much. Hello. Oh, yeah. Perfect. I set out to not show my camera. How long does it normally take a video to port from Twitch to YouTube? I'm just trying to export it from Twitch to YouTube. How long does that usually take? Yeah. What do you normally do? I mean, I did that too, but you can just hit export. And then
Yeah,
it
but
moves it
you
over for
you can't edit it then.
Yeah, you can. Well, you can't edit it, but you can trim it. You can trim, like, basically what I did was I took the episode and then I created a highlight, because apparently those stick around forever and your others don't. So I just cut off, because I've got 10 minutes on either end of just stream starting. I just cut that down to like 30 seconds or whatever and then exported it.
Yeah, I did not know there was an export to YouTube feature.
Now, if you're going to edit it, yeah, you don't want to do that. But my plan was just to pour these over anyway, so that was the whole concept.
I'm going to have to look into that so I can just have a VOD channel. Hi, Connor.
Yeah,
What's up, buddy?
I'm
live.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. You sound sick.
I'm not sick, but I don't feel good. Does that make sense?
Still tired?
I'm a little tired, but I have my stomach's bothering me.
Dinner and boating. That's a good time.
Now recording.
I'm not like sick, like head cold, but like, my stomach doesn't feel good. I went voting today too.
I have a headache, so.
You know what I'm hearing?
Been for an hour. Oh. What are you hearing? I'm reading chat.
What?
I'm reading chat while I can. I don't read it during the whole podcast recording, guys.
You got your thing at 10?
Huh?
Are you doing something at 10? Didn't
So
you say your raid got moved or
raid. They started a second raid group that raids at 8:30 on Thursdays and Sundays. So I switched to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't have to stay up until 1 a.m. on work nights. So
that's good.
Oh my God, 7 pages. Ugh.
Yeah, I was up till about 12:30 last night.
Yeah, I saw
I
that.
got trivia this week. Let's do it. Are you ready?
I don't think I have to do anything else. Let me make sure I've.
Because I don't feel great, so if this was on the shorter side, I wouldn't say no.
Fine with that. I'm okay with that.
I was up pretty late. We just ran over a little bit.
I saw that.
The episode only ended up being.
Well, I bowed out. I bowed out at midnight because Sonic Frontiers came out. So I put the stream on mute and moved over to the couch.
Oh, did you stay on till midnight?
I was here the whole time. Now I was doing
What?
other things most of the time, but I had the volume on, listening.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Let's talk about it on the thing.
Okay.
That would make more sense. Let me just look up what number we are, and then
My sleep schedule is so degen. I went to sleep in the morning and woke up just to vote. If I didn't have to work, I would be doing the same thing. I didn't have to work today, though. I did stay up to like 2 playing Sonic.
Yeah.
I'll mention it a little bit, but it's a Sonic podcast. So
What am I looking for? Oh, yes. Duh. $85. Okay. Ready?
It's 85.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 85 of Highwind Herald. I'm Wolfkins, and I've got a soloist here with me. 2 weeks in a row, we've actually managed to record. So, look at us.
Be old.
We're
We
professionals.
almost didn't get to because my internet was out all day, and it came on at about 6 p.m. So
Yeah, he had sent me a message saying, I might have to bail, which I never saw. And then later I just got a message that said, never mind. And I was like, what are you talking about? So that was kind of a roller coaster. Speaking of roller coasters, I have a trivia for you. and it is a Wolfkin special 2-parter. Are you ready?
They're all two. What do you mean? It's not special anymore. They're all 2-parters.
Not all of them.
Okay. What's the
I
question?
don't think I've given this one before. So if I haven't, I'm sorry. But here we go. And you only get one guess at this because I feel like there's only a couple possible answers. Which of the mainline Final Fantasy games have more separate enemies than any other in the series?
12.
No. Really? You went with 12?
Uh-huh.
I figured you'd at least narrow it down to one of the MMOs.
Well, 12 has... Oh, I was excluding those. I guess 11 then.
I said mainline entries.
I guess 11. I mean, I was thinking on the front. I was thinking on the like basis that 12 of the non-MMO games easily has like the most content. So I was like, well, surely it has to have the most varied. But 11 probably definitely because I play 14 and I know for a fact they reuse a lot of models in 14.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean new models, but different variations. Even though it's the same model, it's still technically a separate entity. So what do you want to go with? Do you want to go with 11 or do you want to go with 14?
I'm still gonna go with 11. There's a lot more of 11.
There is, and that is the correct answer. So
Cool.
Part 2 would be, let's just see if you can take a shot in the dark. There's at least this many. How many separate enemies are there?
392.
Oh, dude, up.
829.
You get one more guess. Up.
1,802.
3,500.
That is a lot.
We got to keep in mind this game is 20 years old, right?
Yeah.
At least. Or are we coming up on 20?
It's old.
It's old. And, they're making content again for it. It's got so many expansions. So, yeah, 11 was the answer. And, 12. It's got to be one of the MMOs. It had to be.
Of course.
Excluding. I'm getting sick and tired of people excluding the MMOs.
We do it all the time.
We should not.
We shouldn't.
I don't. 14 and 11 are two of my favorite. They make my top 5. I don't exclude those.
This is the Final Fantasy game you should start on, excluding the MMOs.
Well, I only do that because I feel like Final Fantasy 14 is the obvious answer.
True.
Yeah, it just is. Anyway, how have you been? What have you been up to this week? And I know it's not Final Fantasy, and it's going to be Sonic, isn't it?
I've been playing.
You have a Sonic shirt on.
I
by
do.
The way, for our
I do.
podcast listeners.
I'm in a big Sonic mood. I don't talk about him a lot, but I am. My oldest fandom is Sonic, and I am a huge Sonic fan. And Sonic Frontiers came out at midnight. I've been playing it, and it is my new favorite Sonic game ever. It is addicting. It is amazing. It is. It's got flaws, but every game has flaws. It's so stinking good. I love it. And I've also been. I reinstalled Final Fantasy 14 on PC last night while that podcast was going on. But
wait, why PC? You gonna try to stream it or something?
Yeah, if I play it again, I'm going to stream it, and I do have to set up to stream it from PS5, but it's a lot less of a hassle to just do it on PC.
I like how you say if I play it again, when you're the one that gave us a deadline of next week of completing 6.2.
Yeah, so I will, so I reinstalled it for that.
I'm starting to get nervous about that.
No, I should have time to do it if Sonic doesn't.
No, I'm starting to get nervous about me doing it,
I've also been watching through Attack on Titan. That's been taking up most of my time. And I can't talk to you about it anymore because I'm pretty sure I passed you.
Wow, really?
Yeah. As of 30 minutes ago, I think I did.
How do you have time?
I didn't work today.
Oh, that's it.
Didn't have to work today.
I had to work, but I did take a little bit of time off to go vote. You know how it is. Gotta do your civic duty.
Do the do.
Yeah. Well, I have had a little bit of Final Fantasy news. We had our premiere of Kupo Quest yesterday at the time of this recording. It was on Monday. So we had our first episode and had a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a fun campaign. Right now, that you can get those VODs on twitch.tv/KupoQuest, but I'm working on moving it over to our YouTube channel too. So if you missed it, if you're interested, then check that out. That's been my main Final Fantasy for the last week or so, but it's been a lot of reading into old Final Fantasy wikis and pulling different just threads and influences and stuff like that, trying to build this out. But yeah, you know what I haven't done?
What?
Still haven't touched 6.
I don't think you are at this point. Kupo Quest was very good. I can attest. Good job. It was very well organized. There were no hiccups. My man in the chair job was very easy, so I just got to enjoy it. So it was.
I got
really
like
good.
one text, and he was like, "It's all right."
I did. I sent one text, and I thought, you know what? I'm just like looking for problems. I think I was like, but it's not an issue. Just look at it next time. But
it was fun.
It was good. It was really entertaining.
I got really nervous, and because we stream this show, but I don't really think about it because I'm just talking to you in the Discord. Like, I know you're streaming, but I'm not doing anything with it. So it's just kind of this thing. But like, I was very much aware, like, oh my God, I'm streaming right now. And I don't know, it was something I got kind of nervous, but it was fun. Yeah. Like, once I got going, it was actually really fun. So
yeah, it was
looking forward to it. And the players were great. I think we had a great time. People were really getting into it, and yeah, fun. So
it was a fun time. The players are really entertaining. Good.
Yeah, it got some good players. Definitely got some good players. Lucked out there. So
how long do you think the campaign will be?
That's a good question. I didn't say it on stream last night, but I did let them level up to 2. I like to get people away from level 1 as fast as possible, but that's open-ended. I don't know. I'm just gonna let the campaign kind of drift and flow as it needs to, and eventually I'm assuming we'll come to some kind of natural conclusion.
Cool.
So we'll see.
Cool.
I of course have the overall, these are things that are happening and things that probably need to be resolved, but nothing ever survives contact with players in a game like this. So we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty excited. They did meet Mog last night with they gave him kind of a Mickey Mouse voice.
Yeah,
it just kind of happened.
That's how that works.
So, but yeah, I had a good time. So working on getting that up for YouTube and that stuff. So I have been playing some 14, but I've been using it in, kind of conjunction with Kupo Quest because the character designer is amazing for just designing NPCs and different characters. So I've been just in there creating new characters, quote unquote, and then just taking screenshots so I can port them over. And of course I logged in a little bit, but did my island stuff. Surprised, right? Well,
we got 1 week to catch up.
I'm getting worried about it because I'm also really addicted to Gotham Knights right now.
I saw that tweet. It's these other games, man. There's too many great games coming out, too many great shows out. It's too hard to focus.
And then Pokemon on the 18th, right?
I wasn't even thinking about that. Oh gosh, I'm not gonna have time.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually contemplating canceling my pre-order because I don't think I'm gonna have time to play it when it launches, and just picking it up later when I have time.
Yeah.
So I've got until Friday because the pre-orders get charged on Friday, so I got to make up my mind.
Well, yeah, I would get deciding. I never pre-ordered it, so I might just wait anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, man, what's new?
What is new?
Though?
I don't even know. Like,
well,
what is new?
It's one of those weeks where I know there's news. But I've been so hyper focused on trying to do some of the stuff for the stream and the show that
and we've already done our 16 episode. So,
well, you know what? Actually, I would like to make a comment on our 16 episode because apparently you and I had a hot take. Okay.
Oh, wait. Was there backlash or is it just something you saw?
Not specifically from us about what we said, but we did have a hot take. Apparently, so I'd like to just address this for those of you who listen to it. As we were kind of going through our review of the trailer and all that, you and I had both commented how it was nice to see additional, diversity amongst the cast. We had just commented, oh, it's nice. Apparently that's a hot take because the entire narrative around this game in the last week has been how white this game is. So,
how whitewashed?
Just how white it is and how there's like a total lack of diversity. So I need to go back and watch that trailer because we just came away with a vastly different opinion, and it was trending on Twitter, and actually Yoshi P had some quite controversial comments about it, mainly surrounding the fact that And it's one of the things you hear a lot about fantasy settings like this is, based on the time period and this and that, and that's why it's mainly, a white cast and stuff like that. But the Twitter's just been blowing up, and the entire narrative has been about, why is Final Fantasy 16 so white? And I was like, I must have missed something, or we have set the bar way too low. And then you and I just thought like, oh, there's more than one. This is great progress.
Maybe.
So,
I don't know. I mean, I
we had a hot
definitely
take.
didn't get that vibe, but
I'm just saying, it's like ever since we've recorded that episode, all I've seen is conversation about that. And I'm like, whoa, we did not say that.
can I
We said
double
something totally
down
different.
on my controversy? Please?
Uh-oh.
People just try to find stuff to complain about, sounds like to me.
Sometimes they do. It's the internet.
I just think, because you look at other forms of media that have no diversity, and this game had diversity, and maybe it's not enough for you. What do you want? Like,
Well, Square Enix does have, and a lot of these Final Fantasy games do have a history of being not very diverse. I mean, we did mention that in our review of the thing as well.
yeah.
I mean, because we pointed out they tend to have a tokenized character in Barrett or something like that.
Oh yeah, but
now-
that was, and another point to Barrett we made is that the remake represented him a lot less,
You did.
a lot less awkward. And another
yeah,
thing
a lot
people
better.
really want, this might be a controversial take, and I don't really care, but it was 1997 when 7 came out. You may think that's very inappropriate to represent an African American like that, but if you were your age in 1997, you wouldn't think that, because that's the way the times were. That's just how it is. It's just the way.
The argument is just because that's how it was doesn't mean it was right.
No,
of course,
I mean, of course,
but,
of course, but there's no sense of complaining about it either.
well, he was obviously modeled after Mr. T. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was Barrett
And-
modeled after Mr. T.
The bigger reason there's no reason to complain about it is because you can't change what literally you've already made and released, but they literally remade it and did change it and made it better.
Well,
so
I think the thing is, you always want to push for progress. You always want to push for more inclusion.
yeah,
And I was just kind of getting the vibe that they were with 16.
I did too.
I think I need to watch it closer, because I came away from it with a different opinion. So, but yeah, I mean, it's been a big controversy. So I'd like to rewatch the trailer with fresh eyes, or at least, well, I guess, eyes that have been, has seen all this, and just see if I notice it. But
yeah, I didn't get
and
that
again,
at all.
like I said, maybe the bar for Square Enix is just so low because they don't
Maybe.
usually have that. We
mean-
we were just like, hey, there's something that's great.
It's not necessarily super low either, because their biggest project is 14.
Well, 14 does a great job.
They
Yeah,
have
because-
I'm oh my god, what's the name of that
Well,
place again? It's in Stormblood, Alamigo. That place
Alamigo's a great place.
That place is
Well-
really well represented.
Well, and just their character creator has
Yeah.
pretty much every single thing that every, skin tone and body type. You can, actually, that's not true, because I still can't, that MMO still won't let me make like really fat people unless you're playing WoW. Like,
And
what
hey,
were those?
I mean, WoW now has Culturian humans, which are literally
That's what I was
just
talking about.
fat
The
humans.
the fat humans.
They're this old timey strong men.
Yeah.
And actually, Final Fantasy 14 still makes you pick between male and female. World of Warcraft has taken the jump to just calling it body type 1 and body type 2.
Well, keeping it with Square Enix too, Harvestella came out, and I
And it
haven't had a
does the
chance
same?
to pick that up. Well, no, it's the first game that they've ever introduced that has a non-binary option. So now you have the choice when you're making your character male, female, or non-binary. And it's the first time they've done that. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in the future 14 does that as well.
yeah, why not?
Or switches to, why not?
Why
I mean, or switches to a type like WoW's doing, where they just call it body type 1 or body type 2. And I'm all for stuff like that, because it doesn't change anything. It makes it's more inclusive. It makes people feel more welcome at the table. Absolutely.
If you have an issue with a decision that's not affecting gameplay at all, then you're just revealing things about yourself.
Yeah.
Bigotry.
Yeah, so I have absolutely no problem with that, and I don't think anyone should. And I think they should, add it in as they go forward. I mean, one of the things that they did, even jumping from 11 to 14, was in 11 they had, and I guess they still do in 14 within one case, but there were certain races that could only be one gender.
Yeah.
So you would have the Mithra, which were only female, and the Galco, which were only male. And of course, when they came into 14, both those races had the
and that was
counterpart.
really controversial during Shadowbringers when they introduced those two races and bringing back the gender restrictions. Right. I remember that being a big thing. And they opened
It was weird, too, though, because I would have liked some female lion people.
Yeah, why haven't they done that yet? If they took the time to fix... I want to...
Okay,
what
look,
are they called
you can
again?
have bunny boys. I want my lion ladies.
What are they called again?
Vieira?
Vieira. I kept wanting to say Volpira, but that's WoW. Vieira.
No,
yeah. So, if they fix them, how can't I be a female lion lady? You think it's because not enough people play that race?
I don't know.
You think it's because it's not very popular?
Really it's if I wasn't like in love with Wolfgan's, my red mage, I would be playing that race.
Well, if I wasn't in love with the idea of my character looking cool in cutscenes, I would 100% be a Lalafell always. But I am making my stream character a Lalafell for the our YouTube channel when I do a complete playthrough of 14's history and story, calling it A Realm Retold. That's what I'm calling the series. It'll be following a Lalafell Black Mage.
Nice. I might hop in and just run a dungeon with you from time to time.
Amen.
So, anyway, I was just saying, like, we come from this, we're two white dudes. So we are not the authorities on this at all. But it's just, I found it interesting. And perhaps, again, I think maybe perhaps our bar's too low, but I would like to rewatch that and see, because it has been a huge controversy. And I will say Final Fantasy 16, the way they've got it laid out, is the perfect setting and game to where they could introduce a plethora of racial diversity because of the different kingdoms. And, maybe they didn't go far enough. That's you have to make those decisions, I guess.
Maybe
how you think about it,
is going to double down on it because he seems like he's not going to go in and, this isn't a Sonic movie situation where they went in and changed the whole movie because people are mad.
I don't know. It's just interesting, and I think these conversations are good, though, because I think that here in recent times, the push for diversity has been a very good thing, and I think we've seen some very good things come out of it. And I'm all for, because people come in all shapes, sizes, colors, and it's nice to see that. It's nice for people of those races to feel represented, and it's also just nice to not see a white people all the time.
What Final Fantasy
I don't like looking to see a white people. We suck.
What Final Fantasy needs is not a more diverse. They don't need a more diverse side cast. We need a black main character. Dang it! I would be all down for that. I would love that.
I wouldn't even mind DLC for 7 Remake that focuses on some of the core cast and gives them a spotlight. Barrett, I wouldn't mind even side missions of him, just some backstory. I mean, you got 7 Remake, you could build out that universe so well. Let's see what he was doing with Soldier before Cloud came into the picture. That'd be some fun, just
that would
goofy
be good.
missions. So, I mean, and stuff like that. And then, the idea really being is these are Japanese games, so really all of the characters are Japanese. We just view them as white, but they're all really Japanese, and we just tend to forget that, I think.
I mean, that's also another really bad cultural divide we have, is that we aren't feeling like the game is appropriated. I'm not using the right word there. We don't feel like the game is made for us when we keep in mind that it is a Japanese game coming from Japan. So, it's different. First and foremost, I know games are worldwide now and they're whatever, but first and foremost, they're being made by Japanese people for Japanese people. I do
think they have a stronger focus on Western markets these days.
These days they definitely do, and that'll always be their first and foremost.
And I think gameplay wise, you can tell that just in how they're moving towards more action games with Final Fantasy. That's because of us. That's because of the Western market.
Absolutely.
But again, I think these kind of conversations are good that they're having, and when things aren't up to the standards that you expect, it's nice to voice those. I just found it interesting that we just had a different take, was all. And what the weirdest thing was we agreed and had the hot take. Normally it's one of us that has a hot take, and the other one's like, wait, what? But we were both like, yeah, this is nice to see. And then literally like the next day, it was just like, holy crap! Like everybody else thinks something different. I wasn't trying to be a hot take.
Yeah. That's why we shouldn't agree. That
I know
bad
this is what
things
happens.
happen.
We just should not
Bad
agree.
things happen.
Bad things
But
always happen.
I do think, and you know, you're right. Maybe the bar is too low because there are games that do great with diversity now, and Final Fantasy sometimes. But then again, 14 really does not do a bad job with it at all. It does a pretty good job. 15, not so much. But 15 also took place. 15 also took place in a very contained area. It took place in a country. So it kind of made a little more sense. It seems like we're getting.
But I mean, still, yes and no, because I mean, again,
but
a single country has a plethora. Of
and
people.
I will say it did have diversity in one way. 15, and this isn't really a joke, like a lot of people are gonna think, but it did have like the first kind of like hillbilly representation. You know what I mean? And that is, I mean, I'm being kind of serious though, like. It wasn't all serious people.
Which is hilarious.
It was like there was some like gas stations, rundown stuff. I mean, it was like being back where we're from. I mean, think about it. Hillbilly, like it was kind of cool. But I remember thinking it was really cool seeing like
what's the girl's name?
Cindy,
the mechanic. Cindy.
Yeah. She's a country bumpkin right there.
Hey, was that supposed to be like a Magus Sisters reference? I never really thought about it until you just said Cindy.
Maybe.
I always just took it as like a female Sid. You know, C-I-N-D-Y. Maybe that's what it was.
But it had it. I mean, call it diversity. I mean, you can kind of call it diversity because you got a diversity scholarship for being from an area like that. Remember?
I mean, that is true.
So,
I mean, and just some background to that, it was the college that we were going to did have. They called it a diversity program, but it was a reach out basically to get minority groups into the college. And yeah, from where we were from, basically the turnover rate from going to college from that area was so low. They included people from that area into this program. Yeah. So
and we nice. Are from a very whitewashed area. Very much so.
So basically, our opinions on this mean absolutely nothing.
No, not at all.
So I don't. Just wasted.
I'm just kind of going in circles with the 15 thing.
We just wasted your time, but at least you got to hear Soloist say he likes hillbilly representation in his video games.
It was pretty cool to see a hillbilly in a Final Fantasy game. It was. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of cool.
At a gas station, which was a marathon station.
Oh yeah. At least it's not a BP though.
I don't know. I have a thing against marathon stations. I feel like everyone I go to is super run down.
I'm pretty sure I had my wallet
thing too. Like I don't even know if that's like a
yeah. I mean, I have no
idea. Is
that
like a national company marathon?
I know BP
station?
is.
I know. Well, yeah, that's British.
I'm pretty sure that I had my wallet stolen at a Shell station. So let's just agree that they're the worst.
My wife swears that Shell gas goes through her car faster, and she gets less mileage per gallon.
Now I don't know
if it's true,
but I do know that my wallet went missing at a Shell station.
She won't fill up at a Shell station. She swears their gas sucks.
Well, I will agree with that. I will agree.
Just a piece of trivia. What was the brand of gas station in 15? Did it have one? I don't remember.
It was probably some kind of like Final Fantasy branded thing.
Maybe,
like
I'm sure.
Magicite or something. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just curious. It's not important. In fact, I probably shouldn't have even asked you that and just used it as a trivia for a future
It was
episode.
Hammerhead.
Oh, Hammerhead.
Okay. We should have remembered that. That's like a central location you go back to a lot. So
yeah. I don't think I associated it with the name of the gas station. Just like
and I want to
town.
I want to preface this, guys. The hillbilly representation thing, I'm not comparing it to African American representation. Before you say Highwind Herald values hillbillies over other, please, guys, I'm not saying that.
I just want to say
I'm not saying that. Not saying that. Please put your pitchforks down. This is a comedy podcast.
I don't think we meant to be, but I feel like that's what it turned into.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, on weeks like this, when we don't have anything to talk about, it's like.
Well, there are things. I mean, we do have a new live letter coming up for Final Fantasy 14. We did just have a patch, 6.28, that had some job adjustments, mostly just buffs, though. I mean, it's not a major patch. So it didn't seem like it was worth kind of diving into. I did a quick skim of the patch notes, and it was basically, this job got buffed and buffed. A couple nerfs when it came to PvP and just some adjustments like that, but it was mainly just a balance patch. I do believe they switched over to the new season. I think they're season 4 for Crystalline Conflict now. So, but yeah, that was it. Like that was the most that we had. I think the biggest Square Enix related news has been the launch of Harvestella, but I haven't had a chance to play that myself.
Yeah, I've seen some people playing it though.
So here's the thing: is I would have if I wasn't still doing Disney Dreamlight Valley. There's only so many farm sims I can play at one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean.
And with so many games coming out and they're all so expensive, if I had to pick, I'm picking Pokemon over Harvestella. I'm sorry, Square Enix.
Me too, but I'm not doing anything until Sonic's beaten. So,
well, so that what, tomorrow?
No, this is a long game.
So like day after tomorrow?
I'm on the second of 5 islands right now. And it's open world, so of course there's tons of stuff to do, and I won't move on because I have to go find every Knuckles token.
I apologize to anyone listening to this that wants to talk about Final Fantasy. This will be a very quick tangent, but I have to ask. Whatever happened to that open world Kirby game? I feel like that came and went and no one said anything about it.
Well, it wasn't really open world. It was just it's still levels. It was just 3D.
Oh, okay.
People talked about it for about a month, and from what I heard, it was amazing, best Kirby game ever. But people did quickly stop talking about it.
I heard nothing, and then forgot. I didn't even remember it until you were talking about Sonic, and then I was like, wait.
Everything's going, and that's the closest Kirby you'll ever get to open world. I mean, it took Kirby 30 years to make a 3D game.
That's the last Kirby game.
Oh man, I doubt that. Everything's doing open world now, and 16 hopefully we'll have a little bit of, and I love open world. And here's the thing, and this is another small tangent, the new Sonic Frontiers literally is one of my favorite open world games ever, because they do fast travel better than everything. Why do you need a map to click on something to fast travel if you are yourself fast? So the more things you unlock, floating rails pop up and obstacle courses in the air. You use those and just run through them to fast travel.
That's pretty cool.
It's so awesome, and it's so fast. It's so good. It's so good.
I feel like we've gotten some confirmation on 16 that it's not fully open world, but that has open roaming levels.
Open zone? That's what Sonic Frontiers is.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was under the impression of, but I don't hold me to that.
Kind of like
that I could be thinking about anything else.
Kind of like that Arceus Pokemon game.
Yeah, kind of like that. Although I hope that there's not one random mission that I can't figure out how to progress, and then it makes me quit playing that game forever.
I just love open world games so much. I love them.
Yeah, I know.
They're getting better and better too. They're getting every time I play one now, it's just Breath of the Wild is a really good one. My first one that really got me into it was 15. I ain't even gonna lie. 15 is the one that really got me into it, and then Breath of the Wild perfected it, and since then everything is just copying that game. And
I've learned that the only open world games so far that I like are the city-based superhero ones, like Gotham Knights and Spider-Man, because it just I don't know why. I just swinging around the city, stopping random crimes and stuff like that. That's fine, but as much as I love fantasy, I don't like open world roaming along the countryside.
Say that until you roll down a hill of Sonic and go super fast and fling into the air so fast, and you're like,
I don't know
where am I going to end up? Who knows?
You know what I mean? I mean games like Skyrim and games like those.
Yeah.
I just don't, as much as I like fantasy, I just can't get into them. Even 15, I had a little bit of just okay.
There was a lot of lull in 15 where you just sit down and let the car drive and go do something else for a minute.
Oh yeah, because it'll auto drive. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Except at night. Oh, God.
Can't drive at night.
That game is terrifying at night. I'm just going to say. It was spooky. It was spooky.
Can't do it.
Okay. I don't mean to bring this back to Kupo Quest, but we launched our show on November 7th, right? I had an idea on November 1st for an awesome Halloween one-shot. So I was like, son of a sailor. Now I have to wait till next year.
You gotta wait a whole year.
How cool would a Kupo Quest one-shot on the Ghost Train be?
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Right? It was like November
so
1st, the day after. I've got a candy hangover, and I'm like, oh my God.
You have to be Final Fantasy race, because I'm never playing D&D again and not playing Fiddlestick.
Well, yes, there are Final Fantasy races.
He doesn't work as a Lalafell, because he could be
a Lalafell or a Loporrit.
Loporrit and Lalafells are too small and cute. Findle is a tiny, gross gnome, bald-headed. He smells a little bit, and he's
Could you
vulgar.
make him a... I do have dwarves. Could you make him a dwarf?
I could make
dwarf.
him a skinny, shorter dwarf. A runt of the litter.
Findle.
That's
Stick. Great. That's hilarious. I know that this is kind of a shorter episode, but like I said, I've been focused on Kupo Quest. And I'm not saying that I'm not focusing on this show anymore. It's just, it was our premiere, so I've been putting so much into it on the last.
Well, it's hard to focus on this show. There's not too much going on, so.
Well, we're in between with some things with Final Fantasy. 14's kind of in a lull. We just had our big 16 news, and there's even probably stuff we could dive into deeper on that. We did a general kind of overview, but we could do a deeper dive. We've got some 16 news, but we're still waiting for news on Ever Crisis. I think just doesn't exist anymore. I mean, we were supposed to have it in September, and it's November.
Yeah, I'm not very hopeful.
I don't care about the delay, but I wish they would say something. I wish they would just tell us, hey, well, by the way, it got delayed. So yeah, I don't know. I was really looking forward to Ever Crisis, but here we go. I will tell you this. Playing Kupo Quest has gotten me wanting to play an old Final Fantasy again, because I've based so much of the initial campaign start on Final Fantasy 1. I might pick 6 back up. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. But it's been making me want to play 4 or 5 again, even though I just played them. I don't know, something about it.
You definitely should. You definitely should play it. I mean, it's a fantastic game.
6. I know.
It's a fantastic game.
That's what people keep telling me.
Yeah, I love it. I want to play it again.
Oh, well.
But I've got too much stuff going on. I can't even begin to think about it.
Yeah. Well, I just want some Ever Crisis news. I'm actually considering maybe trying out. I kind of want to try out First Soldier before it goes down again. I want to try it out again before it goes down. But then at the same time, I'm like, I really don't want to get into this game if they're just going to take it away. So, in a weird place. You know what I wish they would come out with is a digital version of the Final Fantasy trading card game. I could get behind.
I would love to play that game if it would just be put on because no one around me plays it, so I can just look at the cards. No one around me plays it
either. I mean, I bought a really nice collector's set, but it was mainly just for collectors. So, I don't have anywhere to play it or anybody to play it with.
Yeah.
And to be honest, in order to start a scene, I would have to drive that, and I've got too much stuff on my plate. So maybe we could turn that into content. I'll just have people over, and we'll have a Final Fantasy trading card game. You know what? Actually, I kind of want to do that. That sounds really fun now.
That's content right there. I would do it.
Sounds fun. Dang it.
Oh, dang it. We always have the future.
The future. I don't know. I'm getting up there in age. I'm old.
You're going to die.
Eventually.
You're close to death on me here.
Every second we inch closer to death. I am older and closer to death now than I was at the start of this podcast.
Me too.
Than I was at the start of this episode.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, on that happy note.
Yep.
I think that maybe we should just call this one, because otherwise we're just going to ramble for 20 minutes.
We should just call it here. It could be our last.
Could be. You never know.
You don't, and that's the thing about death.
And in real life, there are no Phoenix Downs.
Next week. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Highwind Herald. I'm alone this week. Don't ask why. And 4 weeks later, still alone. I have something to announce. He's dead. He's died.
So I'm looking for a new co-host. If you're interested. All right, man. Where can they find you? You got a link tree, right?
Yep, on that link tree.
Yours is so easy. I should just
Amen.
make one.
Thank
But you know
God
what?
it is easy too.
Part of me really likes saying, if you want more information, you can follow me at Wolfkins on Twitter, or you can follow the show at Highwind Herald on Twitter. You can also go to highwindherald.com, where we have all of our past episodes and show notes. And you can go to, if you would like to watch Kupo Quest live on Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's twitch.tv/KupoQuest. And the videos are of this podcast, the recordings, and of Kupo Quest will be found on our Highwind Herald YouTube page. So I'm getting pretty good at that outro. I'm just gonna
There we go.
say it
On
I'm good at-
our YouTube page.
on our YouTube page. So the first episode of Kupo Quest should be going up there momentarily. I don't know how long it takes to port from Twitch to YouTube, but it's in process. So, I'll tweet it out when we do. And then that's it. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more news, or, the idea next week is to talk about 6.2. Now, I'm not making any promises because it really depends on how this weekend goes for me. But that's the plan.
If we got time, we'll do it.
If not, we'll call an audible and talk about something else.
We need to have
Maybe we
another
can-
guest sometime soon.
You know what? I
It's been a
bet I
while.
could arrange probably 4 guests at some point, spread out if you're interested.
Nope, I want them all 4 at the same time.
Well, then tune in Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. I could
Just
reach out and see if they'd like to
Episode
join.
of Chaos.
That would definitely be an episode of
I'm
Chaos.
down.
Oh my god. Let's do it.
That would
Okay.
be wonderful.
Anyway, I think that's it for us this week. We will see you next week.